How's it going, everybody? This is Phil. So for those of you who caught my channel update video the other day, I made mention of it. I made mention in it that I was going to be fixing the Galaxy of Adventures vignette that they did for Princess Leia, the rescue on the Death Star. So now I know that this came out on February 8th. I've been away for a little bit, and I've been catching up on videos for a lot of the channels that I watch. And I've seen that Geeks and Gamers talked about this, and Anna from that Star Wars girl, she was pissed off. Doomcock had a great rant on this. And just a little side note, if I can park here for a second, if anybody is subscribe to my channel, and I got 100 subscribers or so, and you're not subscribed to Doomcock, go over to his channel and subscribe. He's awesome. I don't know why he doesn't have more subscribers. He's got 16,000 subscribers. I think his channel's been active for about a year now. He should have well over 100,000. The guy he's funny. He's really well spoken. He's got a great vocabulary, and he is a geek through and through. And he's essentially fighting a pop culture war, and he is angry, but he's our angry. He's the angry that's on our side, and he's fighting for Star Wars and for Ghostbusters and for Marvel, and especially if anybody is a fan of Star Trek, you need to subscribe to Doomcock. He's a big Star Trek fan. He's all over the Star Trek Discovery debacle that's going on over at CBS and Viacom. So definitely check him out. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, with that being said, I went and I saw a few of these videos, and I saw like what they did, and it's all of I timed it out. It's all of 56 seconds, and it's supposed to make Princess Leia look like this strong female character, and look, in the movies she was feisty, and she was strong, and she was defiant and determined, and in this cartoon they just make her look angry and bothered and miserable and abusive and violent and impatient. I mean, it's the opposite. It's like every trait that I try to avoid in a person that I come into contact with. And they lumped it into heart. And I don't know how they took everything that she stood for and everything that she was, and they twisted it and they turned it into like this weird alternate universe bizarro Princess Leia. And watching this video, and look, this seems to be par for the course with Disney, is that they take these strong female characters, and in this vignette, she beats up Luke Skywalker, and she she's just angry, like, and everyone looks like a boob around her. They all look like a bunch of idiots. Han and Chewie and Luke especially, they look like the Keystone Caper cops. It's like the Three Stooges flew in on the Millennium Falcon and trying to save the princess. It should be like a 15-minute episode as opposed to a whole movie, and it looks just, they look like completely incompetent, and then I mean, this is what they've done with the characters in the new trilogy. You look at Finn, you look at Poe, complete buffoons, or they're belittled, or they're not taken seriously, or they're marginalized. And I mean, this is like, again, this is what they seem to do with strong female characters, and then they do it at the expense of cutting down male characters. And I mean, I don't get on my channel and talk a lot about this whole thing, but I mean, this is just blatantly obvious what's going on in this little vignette. And look, a little kid's gonna pick up on this. I don't know how impressionable little kids will be about something like this. I mean, certainly, you know, if there was a whole entire series, and these were like 22-minute cartoons, you know, a regular cartoon that runs for 22 minutes, and Princess Leia was like this for 22 minutes in a cartoon, you know, you would have a generation of kids growing up seeing something like this and being like, oh yeah, look, that's the way an angry person, you know, a woman should act, like an angry person. You know, I mean, it's so crazy. It's I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking half the time anymore. You know, so you know what. Anyway, what I want to do is, instead of getting on it, and there's my little mini rant on this, and instead of getting on here and doing like a whole entire watch the trailer, because I've seen it, everyone's probably seen it at this point, and you know, what I did was I was curious. I did a search, and I wanted to see if anybody tried to fix this. You know, I mean, we've seen people do a lot of edits on a lot of different stuff, and nobody seemed to do anything with this. And I was like, wow, you know what? I'm going to take that task upon myself, and I'm going to try and fix this for the fans. And I'm going to give us back our princess, and I'm going to give us Luke the way we want to see Luke, and I'm going to cut out all the nonsense and all the bullshit, and make this feel like Star Wars, and make our characters feel like our characters. And you know, it's only, you know, 55 seconds, but every second counts, right? So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through the trailer, no sound. I'll just kind of scroll through it, and I'll stop it, and I'll kind of analyze a little bit, and I'll say what it is that I think I'd like to do. I have worked on this, you know, over the weekend, and so I've done some work on it, and in the next day or two, I'm going to be posting the finished product. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better, and it's going to do away just with a lot of the flawed way that they view these characters, you know, or they use them, or make them look completely you know, like unrecognizable, you know, the characters that we grew up loving for all of these years. So let's go through the trailer, and I will kind of break things down. All right, so it starts off, here's Princess Leia. She's laying on her comfortable metal slab there in the detention center, and you know, in her cell block. And you know, Luke, he comes in, and he says, "Hi, how's it going? I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you." You know, and in the movie, he's like, "I'm with Ben Kenobi. I got your droid." And her face lights up, right? She's excited. Actually, let's back up for a second. When Luke comes in, and he's standing at the top of the steps here, right? And you can see the frame. There is no, he doesn't stand at the top of the steps. He's already in motion. So what I'm going to have to do, I want him standing at the top of the steps looking at her, like when he first opens the door and he's looking at her. He walks in and he's looking at her. I believe he takes a few steps, but I'll have him standing here, and what I'll do is I'll put his leg, he'll have a second leg here, so he's not standing like a flamingo, and I'll give his little head tilt, right? He kind of tilts his head when he looks at her. Very basic animation, but just to kind of get the idea and get that beat, and then he'll stand there, and then we'll have her look at him, all right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here, this shot with her from the back. I'm going to paint him out and put him on the steps, all right? So it'll be a view that's not even in that cartoon, but I'll create it. I'll Photoshop all of this, so I'll have him, it'll be the view from her from the back while he's standing at the steps, and that's where, because I'm not going to animate her mouth, it will be, I'll be here all day with that, but from the back, I'll have her address him, and she'll give her classic line, "Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?" All right, and that's a great line. It's an iconic line, and they left it out. Instead, they had Luke come down, and he looks like he's excited, right? To look at him, his face. He's all lit up. He's so high, so proud of himself, right? He's like, "Wow, look at me! I came here to rescue you. Look, I'm acts of valor, my lady." And she looks at him like, "Yeah, whatever, Dick." I mean, that's a look. If a woman looks at you like that, man, she's not interested, or she knows that you, didn't wipe your feet when you came in from outside after, mowing the lawn, or whatever the case may be. Like, you're in trouble. You might as well run in the other direction if you get a look like that. It's not a look that you want, fellas. Okay. So we get that, and so now we move on to the next thing, right? So Luke, we're going to have company. All right, so they run out, and then here come the stormtroopers, all right? And there's the hallway, and it's a firefight, okay? Cool, no problem there. Don't have an issue with that. Doesn't need to be edited. Okay, so now here we go. We have cut back and forth as Han and Chewie. Now here's Luke. He's handling his business. And she delivers her line, which no problem with that. This is some rescue, okay? Now right here is where the narrator comes in. And he says something to the effect of, in a galaxy of adventures, sometimes the princess has to do the rescuing. Almost like saying, like, when a bunch of idiots come knocking on your door who can't rescue themselves, let's send in the female and she'll fix everything for the stupid men. You're reading between the lines here, right? So look at her, and now look at this face. Look, that she's completely impatient. She's unruly. She's just miserable, all right? And look how they portray Luke in here. Okay, he's in the middle of a firefight, and he's playing with the scope on his blaster like a cat who got distracted by like shining a flashlight on the floor, or if a gnat flew by and it took a swat at it. He's completely distracted. That's how stupid he is. He got distracted by a loose scope on the top of his blaster in the middle of a close quarters firefight. It's so absurd, right? So now she looks angry as shit. This right here, this is like if you took Lucy from the Peanuts and Miss Piggy and one of the writers from the Mary Sue, and you lumped them all together, and you got like a super feminist out of it. It's like a feminist wet dream, right? And she's so angry, and she's like, "F this." All right, which I kind of can't blame her, because Luke looks like a complete tool bag, and that's not Luke. And she grabs his blaster, justifiably so, and then she launches herself right into the middle of the hallway, where she starts taking out all of these hapless stormtroopers. From there, they cut over to the chasm. Now, this is one of the biggest. Oh my God, what they do to Luke here. So you can see up here, he's got his utility belt. He's pulling out the grappling hook with the cord. He's going to throw it around so they can escape. And she's fending off the stormtroopers in the middle of a firefight. They have the high ground. And then it cuts to Luke. You can see there, he's pulling out the cord, right? He's pulling out the cord. And it cuts to him. And look at that. Look at this. I mean, he's like, again, like a cat just wrapped up in a ball of yarn. He looks like a complete idiot. She's having a fight with the stormtroopers. She's in a firefight. She looks at him. He's like, he can't get out of his own way. He looks at her like, yeah, we're going to die. I'm stupid. All right. She looks at him, just like an exasperated look of disgust. She's like, you gotta be kidding me. And then she smacks him. Like, she bitch slaps him right in the... I mean, that is exactly what... I've seen Miss Piggy do this to Kermit the Frog. I don't know how many times over the years, right? So she Miss Piggy bitch slaps his ass. He goes flying into the corner. I mean, she can't shove him, you know, like on his chest, like throw him into the corner to protect him. No, he's got to get bitch slapped. And then she turns around and then she shoots at a stormtrooper. Of course, she hits him, and you know, you get the Wilhelm scream, and he drops into the chasm. Fine. This right here, this gets completely cut out. She was never on the front lines in the Battle of Hoth. She was in the bunker. You know, she was down in the command center. So that's bullshit. Never happened, and it's not going to happen when we revise this. All right. And then here, there's nothing wrong with this at all. We got her in her metal bikini choking out Jabba the Hutt. I mean, it's one of her great deeds that she did in the movie, and she looks fantastic. I mean, that's a dude who did that. That's for sure. All right, and then we have Endor on the planet moon of Endor. She takes off on a speeder bike. Luke says, Leia, wait. Runs after her. He gets on her. He's trying to compose himself, pull himself up to her body so he can be secured on the bike. And then when you cut to the next scene, you got that flappy look like he took a vacuum cleaner hose and he just blasted himself, in reverse, and or air compressor hose, and he's just blowing his face out. He looks like a complete idiot. He looks like a Wile E. Coyote on rocket skates, going 100 miles an hour. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually, you know what? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take her face and I'm going to paint her eyes, fix her eyebrows so they match Luke's, and have blue eyes. They're twins anyway. And I'll put her face. This will become Luke's face on the back of the bike, using this as a template. Give him a different mouth, and it'll be static, but her face is essentially static here anyway. Aside from the light that's hitting it, I won't have any light, but it's only all of 2 seconds. And I'll place the face over this, and it'll be kind of the outline of the helmet, so you'll get a little bit of this kind of flapping out from behind the face, but it won't be so egregious that it's gonna, it's only a second and a half, so it's not going to be really noticeable. And so from there, we go to the ceremony hall. That's fine. All right, let her smirk. It's okay. And then we go back to the firefight in the hallway, in the cell block. The stormtroopers are even worse a shot in this cartoon than they were in the movies. She nails one, and then they all fall over like bowling pins. I don't know what I'm going to keep on that as far as that's concerned. And then she's look at her, this look of just like, I got to do everything. You guys are complete idiots. And Luke looks like a boob. Han and Chewie look like they've seen a ghost. I mean, these guys, when we're introduced to them, they're hanging out in a wretched hive of scum and villainy. But this scares the shit out of them, right? So I got that. The stormtroopers don't know what to make of this. They're idiots. Everyone's an idiot except her, right? She's the only capable one in this whole entire vignette. So then we get the classic, she blows open a hole. No problem with that. This is nonsense. This is going to get cut. Her throwing Luke down there. Her grabbing Chewie, throwing him down there and then kicking him in his ass. I mean, Han did that. She didn't do that. So that's going to get the cut. Then she tells him into the garbage chute, fly boy. Then she dives in and Han looks down at her. Like, son of a bitch. What the I mean, Jesus. The one thing I like to say, with this whole thing, with Luke, all of this is going to be painted out. So I'm going to go in and digitally paint all of this twine out over here. All of this stuff that's wrapped around. He's pulling this here. So I can't paint that out. But all of this shit in his hair, all of this shit around him, and I'll show you. Here's what it looks like when I've taken the twine out. There you go. So it's removed. So he looks like he's competent. He's pulling the twine out of a utility belt. That's what he looks like with it, completely scared out of his mind. And that'll be the fixed version. No more twine. No more wrapped up like a cat, like a kitten, playing with a ball of yarn. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's what I got going on here, guys. You know, there's going to be some mild manipulation, a little bit of animation, definitely some editing that's going on. I'm going to have to, because I'm cutting the shit out of this whole entire thing, I'm going to have to rescore it, and I'll have to pull sound effects and put everything through and, you know, add everything where it was, time everything properly, and get it down pat. And that's pretty much it. So I got a lot of the work done already. I won't be going through any more of this stuff as far as what I'm doing and breaking down the process like Ivan did. I mean, this is a one and done video. And the next video will be the actual vignette. I'll put that up, and you guys, please, you know, share the shit out of that. You know, I hope as many Star Wars fans that were disgusted with this vignette see this and they thoroughly enjoy it and they feel vindicated, because, you know, I mean, a lot of us feel like, obviously we don't own it, but in our hearts we own this franchise. You know, we've kept it alive all these years, and we just want to see it handled with care. And you know, if they're gonna twist it around, I think we're gonna push back and try to untwist as much as we possibly can. So this is me doing my part, and I hope you guys, when you see it, you do enjoy it. It is a labor of love. It's taken a few days, but it's been a lot of fun, and I enjoy kind of putting this together, and hopefully it gets into the eyes in front of a lot of people on a lot of screens, and you know, that would make it all worth it for me. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, you know, there's stuff to do. There's voice to record. There's things to edit. You know, it's funny because. Look at her. Look at this look on her face. Look at this. I mean, when Han says no reward is worth this is what he was talking about. Right? No reward is worth that. Anyway, guys, it is rewarding enough to do something like this for this community and these fans. And again, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you like this video and kind of the breakdown of how I see things and what I'm going to be doing. And I hope you're looking forward to the finished product. Thanks for watching. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe and comment down below. And that's pretty much it. I will check you guys sometime soon. Until then, be happy, be safe, be healthy. Have yourself a great night, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.